Fresh facts. The Kuril Islands dispute. Called the Kurils by Russia and the Northern Territories by Japan, a string of volcanic islands are at the heart of a feud between the two countries that has prevented them signing a formal World War II peace treaty. The disputed islands of Iturup, Kunashir, Shikotan, and Habomai lie at their closest point just a few kilometers off the north coast of Hokkaido in Japan. Significance. Natural resources. The islands are surrounded by rich fishing grounds and are thought to have offshore reserves of oil and gas. Strategic importance. Russia has deployed missile system in the region. Russia also plans a submarine project and intends to prevent any American military use of the islands. Cultural importance. The Japanese people, especially conservatives of Hokkaido, are emotionally attached to the islands. On April 22nd, Japan's diplomatic Blue Book for 2022 described the Kuril Islands, which Japan calls the Northern Territories and Russia as South Kurils, as being under Russia's illegal occupation. This is the first time in about 2 decades that Japan has used this phrase to describe the dispute over the Kuril Islands. Japanese Blue Book is an annual report on Japan's foreign policy and activities published by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. Fresh fact 2. How to tackle splinternet issues for a hassle-free progress. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Union Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, spoke on the need for legislative overhaul of the 22-year-old IT Act, stressing on the need to ensure that India is not vulnerable to weaponization of the internet. We are going to have a $1 trillion digital economy in a few years, and a large number of businesses will be on the Indian internet, so the internet becomes an important economic component of our country. So if anybody has the power to unplug the internet, it's not a good thing. We don't like the idea that any country should be, could be, must be, can be vulnerable to that kind of conduct, politically directed conduct, for any blackmail directed conduct. We have to ensure that we cannot be unplugged. Intermediaries will have to play by the rules and laws of India. The weaponization of the internet or splinternet is something we need to plan, not being vulnerable to. It is an objective for us. The splinternet is a characterization of the internet as splintering and dividing due to various factors such as technology, commerce, politics, nationalism, religion, and divergent national interests. Fresh fact 3. Quad Summit, Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and leaders of Japan and Australia took part in a suddenly convened Quad Summit hosted by the US President Joseph Biden on 3/3/22. The Quad leaders held a virtual summit in March to announce a new mechanism for humanitarian assistance in the Indo-Pacific and the impact of the Ukraine crisis on the region. Another in-person meeting of leaders was held in Washington in September last year. Another in-person Quad leaders summit is scheduled in Tokyo in the coming months. The Quad leaders discussed the ongoing conflict and humanitarian crisis in Ukraine and assessed its broader implications. They agreed to set up a new humanitarian assistance and disaster relief mechanism which will enable the Quad to meet future humanitarian challenges in the Indo-Pacific and provide a channel for communication as they each address and respond to the crisis in Ukraine. A joint statement issued by the White House said Quad members India, Australia, Japan, and the US